All right. So the CD stands for change directory. Okay. So we've all seen how ls works, which we use the ls to list items in a particular directory or in a particular folder. Okay. Now, so the idea is, if we type in the ls command here, this is what we get to see. Right now, all this content here in this version of Linux, the blue ones are the folders and then the white ones are the files. I'm not saying that is going to be the default for every system. This is just what comes pre-installed, the colors. Okay, you can change your colors and you are going to get a different or let's say different colors. But if you want to know which one is a folder, which one is a file, like I taught you the last time, when you perform the long listing, the last parts here actually determine what kind of item you are seeing here, whether a file, folder, or a shortcut. Okay, so if you type in ls, you get to list or see the items inside a particular directory, which we can learn about. That we can know the directory we are currently located in by using the pwd command. So if you want to always move into the documents folder or any of the folders or any of the directories here, the command that enables you to do that is the cd command, and then this is how it works. Okay, so to cd or to change directory into a particular folder, you just type cd and then the name of the folder. Okay, the third name of the folder. Please don't add the angle brackets. Okay, I'm just adding it to make to so that you know, say this is a placeholder or something. Yeah, so cd and then the name of the directory. Okay, now either the name of the directory or path. Okay, either the name of the directory or path. Now talking about path, we get to know about absolute. I think this is not absolute and relative paths. Okay, so let's first talk about the cd before we move on to path. So let's say I wanted to move to documents, right? I wanted to change directory into documents. Okay, what I would do is just type in cd and I'll type documents. Now mind you, it's case sensitive, so don't type documents thinking the system will know what you mean. No, the system doesn't know or wouldn't know what you mean if it doesn't exist that in that format on the system. So document with a lowercase d doesn't exist, but document with an uppercase d exists. So if I type cd document, like I didn't add the s. Okay, so you realize it didn't even complete it. I mean, it's still, it doesn't even exist. Okay, and I hit enter, you realize now my location has switched from just the tiled sign to tiled forest slash and then documents. Okay, this just means I'm inside my home directory forward slash documents. So I'm in the documents folder inside my home directory, and I've been able to change from my home directory to the documents folder. And now when I type in pwd, instead of just getting only this, I get this as well. Okay, now that is how we use the cd command to move into folders. If you realize that, oh, okay, I'm done with this folder, or whatever I was looking for wasn't in this folder, if you were using the command line, if you're using the graphical interface, you would look for like back and then click on back, or you can just navigate the folders you want to actually switch to and then click on them. But here, since we don't have that functionality, to actually move back or move out of a folder, you type cd and then you introduce the dot dot like this, and then it takes you back. In current versions, you can type dot dot and then it will take you back a single directory. So if I want to move out of documents and then move to Kali, I'll just type cd dot dot. The moment I hit enter, the location side will change to whatever location I would be in. So now I hit enter, you realize now it's back to the tiled sign. Okay, let's cd back into documents and then try only dot dot and see. Okay, and then try just dot dot hit back, and you see it brings us back to as well. Yeah, so that is how we can change directory into and then out of other directories. Any question? Any question? Akowa Mercy.
Yes.
Any question?
No.
If there's no question, I have a question for you. Hmm?
Okay.
All right. So, what command do you use to move into folders in the Linux system?
Um, the question again.
What command do we use to move into folders in a Linux system?
Alice.
Hmm?
Alice.
Okay, let me repeat the question again. What command do we use to move into folders in the Linux system? Yeah, Fatima.
Yes.
What command do we use to move into folders in a
Pass.
Linux system?
Command.
Hmm?
Hmm?
CD. What does the CD stands for?
Change directory.
Alright. So,
So like
Akuwa, the command
Yes.
used for moving into folders in the Linux system is the CD command, okay?
Okay.
Alright. Alright. Any question? Does anyone have any question for me before you move on? Champion, you have a question?
Oh no, no.
Yeah, Oswald.
Yeah, Jeff. You know how Chile is see see you know see the change call the directory or another food and
Mm-hmm.
I say me try no around by me and
Depends on what are you
me I say
doing
me practice
exactly?
like I want to change I want to change from maybe from home the normal into maybe a document or like what you were doing
Mm-hmm. And what is happening?
then the time that I press on CD it didn't change. I don't know why.
You type only CD.
CD and like I bring space by and documents. I press on enter.
And what happened?
Okay, fa. You see na mine alpha.
Alright.
Okay, you see na mine alpha. Okay.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Any other question or any other concern?
you
Yes.
mentioned
Go.
symbol. Is that the symbol or the symbol
Yeah, the tiled. That's the name of the symbol. Tiled. It's TILD.
type?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think that's how it's supposed to be. If this thing loads fast, so you see it's that logology something.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Roxanne.
I think the other name is Telda or something. Telda, yeah, maybe. So, with regard to what Oswald was saying, you guys are beginners. So, anytime you want to CD into any directory, make sure you list. Uh, from what Jeff did, because he's familiar with the Linux system. So wherever he is, he knows the types of files or folders inside that directory. But you guys are beginners. There are certain things you don't know. So before you can list or you can CD into any directory, whether you are inside the roots or the tilde or any, make sure you just list. Once you list it, you get to know the type of folder you are going, like you want to CD into. I hope I'm clear.
Yeah, you are
Yeah.
clear. You are clear.
Yeah. And yes, master, you end up doing different things. And the Linux 2 is, I think, is not case sensitive.
It's
If
case
you want to
sensitive,
CD
rather.
into document, it's okay. If you want to CD into document, not document, obo small letter M, the first D has to be caps, and the other words or the other letters will be lower keys. And then I'll bet me about CD, not document, not about D, small, but enter, enco. Okay, so yeah, I think you can proceed.
So
Alright.
it's like
Good.
anytime you try to run it,
Alright.
you have to
So
start with the caps. The first
Aja,
oh,
we
bisa
hardly hear
question
what
Anna.
you are saying in the partner. And the cousin is fainting.
sorry, I've been there. Like anytime you want to run it,
Aja, if Penta is with you, go and use his microphone because we hardly hear what you are saying, Aja.
I think she can type. Type the question. Also, what it comes. So you type the question. I'll read it and then,
Okay.
or maybe anyone can read it when I'm actually not on this screen, so that will answer your question. Alright. Any other question? Then let's talk about paths. Alright. So if there is no question, okay. Yeah, Oswald.
Jeff, we say Bakuna and Catcher no. I know first one no, me bo CD no, me the documents ni buy no. Ana me bo enter, ana me sabo CD no. The documents no me the buy no. Manfa S now so into na change directory into the documents folder. Nti mpese mbusa say, emma so bo CD, not documents about. Na usabo enter na obo CD no anfa, obo documents no anfa S and so in changing into that direction and assessing. It's a more essence source in changing.
Yeah, so it doesn't exist, so it's not going to change to the directory. That folder doesn't exist in the system.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright, so I have paths here, right? So the paths I'm talking about is absolute and then relative path. Okay. So let's start with let's just look at the two of them. Okay. So let's take this scenario. If you are walking, okay, let's say you are walking on the street, and then someone comes to you. Most of the times, with normal human beings or with us, we mostly use the relative path more than the absolute path. Okay. So what happens is, if somebody wants to know about you and then maybe your family up to the first kind of your family, right? They use the absolute path, which means they start from the current person of the family they have and then they move back. So let's say you have an individual like maybe Oswald. Okay, so you start with Oswald and you start asking him questions like, who is your father? And he mentions his father's name. Who is your mother? Then he mentions his mother's name. Then you move back to, now since you know Oswald's father and Oswald's mother, that is when you'll be able to move back to what? Oswald's father's father and Oswald's mother's mother. Then you keep moving. If you take, maybe let's take one, maybe like one lane. So you move from Oswald and you move to his father. Then from his father, you ask of his father, who is his father? Then his father tells you his father. Then you move to the father's father. So you keep going until you reach the first kind of that family. Okay, that is going to be the relative path. So you start from what you know or what you have, then you move back and you trace and then you go back. That is the relative path. Okay, or that is just say like how relative stuffs work. When you talk about absolute path is the opposite of relative path. So in absolute path, you actually skip what you have currently and you start from the beginning. So you want to know about the entire family line or bloodline of Oswald, let's say from the father's family. Instead of starting from who you have access to right now, when you start from who you have access to right now, it's going to be a relative style. So you skip all those relatives, then you go to the first person that was born of that line or like that lineage. Okay, now I've said it in the from the point of view, or let's say from the perspective of us. Let's see the difference in the system here. Okay, now in case I am here, right, and I want to navigate the system, there are two paths I can use, either relative path or absolute path. The relative path is if I want to go to any location from this side, okay, and I don't know maybe some certain things. Okay, let's say I want to move to maybe a directory called maybe there is a directory in the system called word list, like this, right? And I want to go into that directory. There are a couple of ways I can go to the directory, because that directory can be located here. Now the moment I said can be located, it means I already know the location of the directory, right? But if I didn't know the directory, what I'll be able to do is relative path. Look at what I'm going to do. I'll do ls, hit enter. The ls I typed and I hit enter is similar to asking Oswald, who is your father? Then Oswald will mention his father's name here. Okay, maybe he said my father's name is document. Then I say, oh, okay, if your father's name is document, then let me do what? Let me go to your father. Then I do cd document. This is relative stuff. Okay, yeah. So
Nope, you are recording the section.
yeah, this is relative. Okay,
Okay.
so let me try one more time again. So let's say this time Oswald said, oh, okay, my father is actually the folder behind me. Okay, so let's say that's what he said. So I can say, okay, if your father is the folder behind you and I want to know your father's father, what I can do is go to your father by saying cd dot dot. So I move back once, then I get to see Oswald's father here. That is relative path now make known. So I see Oswald's father, and I ask Oswald's father, who is your father? Then he says, my father is also Abia, the Omechana, so we're Papa Din. So if he mentions the father's name and then I ask, maybe I do ls and I check here that his father is not here, then I need to what? Move back. So I say cd dot dot, then I move back. Then here I get to see here. So once I'm here, I say, okay, then this is Oswald's father. Then I ask Oswald's father, who is your father? Then he says, I am the beginning of our family line or our bloodline. I say, oh, okay, so this is the beginning of their family line. So now I've been able to navigate Oswald's what? Their family line. So they had this one who gave birth to this, and then this eventually gave birth to here, and then that is where I started from. That is Oswald here. So that is relative path. So mostly in relative path, that is when you'll be doing the navigation like one at a time. You do your navigations one at a time. You start from what you have access to or what you control, then you move back in that order till you get to what you want to actually achieve, right? Is there any question? Jesus. Mhm. Okay.
Hope
Okay.
you guys have started working on your assignment.
Hmm.
Yes, yes.
Okay, Bafi, what about you?
Not
Aye.
yet.
Why?
I was a little busy.
Oh, but at least, are you waiting till Sunday before you start?
Oh no, tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. So my network. I don't know. Where did I miss, or like where did you miss? If I'm doing a takeaway.
Bloodline.
All right. So yeah. So
It's still on recording.
yeah, it's still recording.
No, I think of late today for today's section, I think it's okay for me. You are too down, you are too low. That's how I want it. Na mo teacher kusula one kan kyerɛ no sɛ sisi ade ɛyɛ
Nimbra me bere korana.
manage. Yakubu manage. Boy continue.
All right. Yeah. So did you all like hear everything I said from this side?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So using the relative path, you are able to track down a particular path like one at a time. Okay. So you start from where you control, and then you keep moving till you get to where you want to get to. Okay. Then when you get to that place, you just be there, and then you start working. That is using the relative path. Okay. And now there is using the absolute path. The absolute path is there is a folder called desktop. Okay. This is the folder called desktop. And then you are here inside your home directory. And you want to move to desktop. Desktop now here is just here. Okay. But absolute path says state the absolute path, or it says that states the exact location of the file from the beginning. That is why I said so. You have to go to the beginning. So if we were using Oswald as an example, and at desktop no Oswald neba. Instead of asking or standing at Oswald and say Oswald me pe oba and answer me oba, or I'm looking for your child, and then just move directly to the child, or who is your child, and move directly to the child. Instead of that, you say, oh, okay, since Oswald's father's father was / who is actually the beginning of the Oswald's bloodline, then I can just say CD / that is the grandfather. Then the grandfather's child was called home. Then I move to the father. Then I asked, well, what I do is I go to the grandfather. I was like, okay, so who is your child? Or the child is called home. Then I move to the father. I say, who is your child? Then the child says, the father says, okay, my child is called Kali. Then I say, okay, then at Kali is now Oswald. I say, Oswald, who is your child? So my child is called Desktop. So this is an absolute path. So we are giving the full path to a particular directory here. So when I hit enter, it just takes me to this. So that is equivalent to just saying doing this. CD desktop like this. Okay, that is the equivalent of doing it. But this time, instead of using the relative path, instead of using what we have currently, we use the absolute path. So we start from the beginning of the file system, and then we keep moving forward till we get to the location we're supposed to get to. Yeah, any question? Yeah. Any question?
Oh, no question.
No question. So you understand absolute path and then relative path. Alright, so just understanding the concepts alone is okay. It would take some time before you would get to be used to some of the locations. Okay, so when it comes to using absolute path and then navigating the file system, It's when you use the system for a very long time or for some time, you get to know that okay, this file is here, this folder is here, this is here, this is here, and then all those things. Okay, yeah. So that is just something small we can say on under absolute and then relative path. And I think there are a couple of things I need to also state again. Now, there are a couple of commands when you type using the cd now or like the change directory, it will always take you to the same place. If you want to always get back to your home directory, like the tiled, that thing, which is /home/Kali, no matter wherever you are, you can just type cd and it will send you to your home directory. So for instance, if I'm in desktop and I type cd without specifying any location and I hit enter, it will take me to my home directory, just like that. Or I can say cd and then I'll type in tiled. Okay, so I just say cd and I type this, it will also take me to my home directory. So just the cd and then the cd tag can take you to the home directory. Or if you feel like you like to use the absolute path, you can also go ahead and then type the absolute path, and then you can also navigate to your home directory as well. Yeah, so these are just a few things I wanted to add about the cd. Okay, and you can also try and see if the cd command has any extra commands by typing cd ---- help, and you realize that the cd has no this is not working because the cd stands for change directory, so it's trying to change directory into this thing, and then since this doesn't exist, it's saying no such file or directory. So we can try using the manual page by saying man cd just to verify if the cd command has a manual page or anything like that. Okay, so it doesn't have a manual page, which means the cd command would only be used for changing of directories. Okay,
Hello. Mentishi wana.
And so we be on time here.
my network again. Okay,
And then Accra for me network, Papa.
I don't know, but I think it's me. It's just my device that is messing up today.
Let's go to session. They have 5G internet, you know.
Anyways, yeah. So I just added a few things about the cd command, which is just typing cd alone will take you to your home directory, and then typing cd plus the tiled sign will also take you to your home directory. And then the last thing I was about to ask before I continue was, does anyone have any question before I move on? No. Elizabeth Amiri. Elizabeth Amiri. 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 Do you have any question?
No, please.
Okay, so then I have a question for you. Okay, so the question is, where does a tiled sign take you to? If you change directory to the tiled sign, where does it take you to?
It takes you to home.
It takes you where?
Home.
Where is home?
Yeah.
Where is home?
It takes you back. Like if you are doing something and you want to go back home, it takes you back.
Where is home? Where is home, Elizabeth? Okay. Alright, so we've looked at CD, okay. Now we can look at touch, which is used to create empty files, okay. It's used to create empty files. So how does it work? This is how the touch command also works. Okay, you can just say touch and the name of file, okay, just like the cd command. Okay, you can use it to create a file, and then it's just going to be create an empty file for you. Okay, so let's see it in action. Before that, let me check. Okay, I'm still active. So to create a file, let me just check. Okay, so I have Elizabeth and then I have champion here. So let me just create a file called a sword like this with a capital O. Yeah. So if you want to create an empty file, you can use the touch command to do that by just saying touch and then the name of a file, hit enter, and it's going to be created for you. So now we have the file created for me here. Okay, that is how to create an empty file using the touch command. Just like that, and then you have a file created. No stress, no hustle. Okay, if you want to see other commands that can be used with the touch command, just type in touch and then help, and then you can see a couple of things that can be used to create the file using the touch command. So we have -m, -r, and -t, -a, and then all these things that we can add to creating the file. But currently, just knowing how to create the file should be okay. We wanted to let us do this one where we can change the modification time, but we'll leave that one for other lessons. Any question on touch? Alright, no question. Then echo. Okay, now echo can also be used to create files. I think the last time I explained how the echo works and how it's able to create files. Okay, I'm just going to go over it again, and then we can move on. So the echo command in itself is used to just display things to the screen, right? Okay, so when I type echo, anything else I type after the echo command will just be displayed back to me. That is how the echo works, and it's with the help of the standard output that the echo is able to give me its output. Okay, but then this standard output, we can always pause it and then redirect it into a text file, and then with that, echo would be able to create, or would be used to create, a text file for us. So I can say echo, this is the use of echo. Then I can redirect it using just the greater than sign here, and what I can do is say test.txt, and I'm just going to make sure that I don't have that file already in here. So you realize the file doesn't exist here. Okay, the file doesn't exist. Now what I did here was just to comment the command, okay, so that it doesn't execute, but then I'll still have it in my command history so that I don't have to type it over again. Okay, so you realize I don't have the file test.txt here, so I'm just going to echo the contents there. And now we didn't get an error, we didn't get an output, which means this file should probably be created. So I'm going to type ls and then list the items, and I see that the file has been created. You realize it's actually in the place of this one here. Okay, so it has been created. And to verify if the content we have here is actually what exists inside the file, you can just say cat test.txt, and then we have the content here. Now just by using the redirect, okay, we are able to switch the functions of the echo command and then redirect it into a text file for us. Yeah. Any question? Any question? Yeah, Magdalena.
Yeah, please. With the use of echo, maybe I want to put a test in a file, but I want it to begin. Yeah, maybe I already have some text inside the file, so I just want to to put the test in the beginning of the file. You know, when you use this, the one you just type, it will replace all the content in the file, and when you use two greater than, then it will add it to the already the contents that's already in the file. But I just want the content to be in the beginning. So what should I use?
Alright, so currently the echo itself isn't used for positioning, right? It's just used to display the contents out to the user. Using the redirect just sends it into a text file, and then using double of this would append it, which means it will bring it just down, right? So until there is a way to capture the request or whatever is coming at this side to switch its position, then it's always going to append. Okay, unless maybe echo has, we can't even do this because it's going to give us the same thing, so we can just say man echo, unless or until maybe echo has a parameter, or let's say an argument or maybe an option to enable us specify where we want that thing to be. Okay, so we can see it says -n, do not output the trailing new line, enable this, disable help version, alert, backspace, produce escape form, and all those things. So until echo has something like that, we might not be able to control the position of the incoming text, because echo doesn't give us that functionality to control the text. It's only going to enable us to display things to the user. So all the options here is just showing us how it's going to be displayed to the user. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other question? Yeah, so
Jeff, you can say, open say like unya options about something. You can say LSR, more options about LSR. Maybe a person will use that slash no that hyphen no. As a we say obo eku no obo man eku into you can rather choose to use man maybe ls or that hyphen sign.
Yeah, I think we've already discussed this some time ago that you can either use the help option or the manual pages, which to get the manual page of a command, you just type the word man and you add the command to it.
Okay.
Yeah, Magdalene. Is it the same?
Oh, sorry. I think it's already a mistake.
Oh, okay. Kofi Bafo Ofori Ata. Kofi Bafo Ofori Ata.
Yes, sir.
Is this your first time here?
Yes, please.
Mm, okay. And Persis Asare. Persis Asare. Voila. Alright. So yeah. So for now that is Echo used to create text files. Okay.
Hello.
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 Yeah, hello. Is this your first time here?
No, please.
This is your second time.
It's more than 2, 3. Yeah,
How? But this is the first time I'm seeing you.
I think so.
How?
Um,
You said you've been here more than 3 times, but this is the first time I'm seeing you.
eh,
How?
I'm wondering too.
But do you know me?
No, please.
How? So where are you currently? Where are you like in this meeting? Like where are you? What meeting are you in like now?
What meeting?
Yeah.
This I'm lost to.
That's what I'm asking. Like what meeting have you joined right now? Because right now we are having like a session, right? What class is this?
Ah. I think it's a Kali.
Who do you know here? Do you know anyone here?
Yes, please.
Do they know you?
Yeah, yes, please.
Well, some there. Stop, mommy. No, Allah. You let's continue. So, are you in the WhatsApp group
Yes, please. I am.
and you don't know me?
Yeah, I don't know.
So, all the 3 times you joined, who was taking? Who was teaching?
Um, a an engineer
Hey,
and a this man. We call some man B. Rudolph. Rudolph something.
the Matia, the Matia, Matia. You can't
Mm,
ask why.
okay.
Yeah, so any question on echo? Any question on echo?
Yes, please.
Yes, ask your question.
My network.
If your network is bad or for some reason you can't speak, you type it and then
Understand it also if you can.
Elizabeth Amiri, in case you have a question and you can't speak about, like maybe your environment doesn't it's not favorable for you to talk, just type it, okay? Type it and maybe when it comes someone will read it, or I'll just come back and then check it. All right. Okay. So yeah. So that was how to use the echo command. And then the next command is mkdir, which just like the touch and then the echo, this this command is used to create folders or directories. It used to create folders or directories. That is what the mkdir command is. So it's actually make directory. Okay, so that is like how the command is. So how does it work? It works like the other ones. Okay, so mkdir, and then you specify the name of the folder. Okay, or directory, just like that, and then you have a folder created for you. Let's see it in action. Okay, so let's see mkdir in action. So let's say I wanted to create a folder called Persis. Okay, so I can just say mkdir this. I'm sure that's the name. Okay, now before that, just trying to verify the folder doesn't exist, so it doesn't exist here. Okay, so I'm just going to clean the hashtag, and now I hit enter, and then we can get the folder created for us. When I type in ls now, we should have the folder created somewhere at the top here. Where is it? Here, down here. And now we have our folder created. So that is how we create folders in the Linux system. Okay, that is one way. Now you can use the help command to see how we can also create extra, or let's say what other things we can do using the mkdir. So we just look at the mode and then the parent. Okay, so first of all, let's look at the parent. What does the parent or the -p means? It simply means that you can use the mkdir here. You can use the mkdir with the p command and then create nested folders. What do I mean by nested folders? Let's say you have this hierarchy. Okay, you have a folder called movies. Inside the movies folder, you have another folder called series. Inside the series, you have another folder called GOT. Inside GOT, you have another folder called maybe S01, like this. And then this is what you want to achieve. Okay, that is what you want to achieve. You want to have this folder structure, but then you know that you can actually do it one after the other by saying come on, you can actually do it one after the other by saying mkdir movies. Once the movies folder is created, you can simply move into cd into movies and then say mkdir series, right? And then move into series and then say mkdir and then move into what create a folder called maybe GOT. You can actually do it in this format, okay? And then no one is actually going to maybe shout at you for using this format because nobody knows what you're actually even doing on your PC. So you end up having the structure there, okay? Or the folder structure, okay? Yeah, that is actually good. You can do it that way, okay? But what if there is an easier way? Okay, so now I already have the movies folder, and then I don't want to create the movies folder here again because it wouldn't really create, or it would tell me that it already exists. So I'm just going to change directory into the persist folder here, okay, and then perform the parent creation, okay, or the nested folder creation by just saying mkdir -p, and I say okay, I want a folder called movies. Inside that folder I want another folder called series. Inside that folder I want another folder called GOT, and I want a last folder called S01. Hit enter, and then I have the movies folder created for me. I can type ls movies, and you see there is series inside, okay. But then there's one command that you can type to actually see the structure of a particular folder. It's also currently present. It's also present in Windows. So if you type in tree and you say movies, we get to see the structure, okay. So movies and then all those things. So this looks similar to what I did here, okay. Yeah, any question? Any question? Any question? Any question? Hey, no one has a question. All right. So if no one has a question, then I have a question. Okay, so my question is, how do we use the mkdir to create multiple folders, not nested folders, but multiple folders? And the question goes to Akowa Mercy. How do we use the mkdir command to create multiple folders? Akowa Mercy. Akowa Mercy. Prince Abdul Hafiz. Prince Abdul Hafiz. How do we use the mkdir command to create multiple folders? Monkasa yebepon. Luke Collins. Luke Collins. Luke Collins. Collins. Oh, kasa, oh, kasa, Mo. Alright, one last person. Yeah, the Elizabeth with the Padiki. Padiki.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, dear. Yeah, why? Jai, Jai. Yeah. Mute yourself.
Yes, one.
Alright. Let's do one last and will be uncle if you say will be as one female. Yeah. So that is how we can use MKDR. So I think one last thing and then we can all move because I think it's yeah. So let's look at how to remove the items we have created using the touch and then the echo command. Okay. So there is an RM command which stands for remove, which can be used to remove, or let's just say like delete files and folders from the system. Okay. Now we want to remove the files we created like the tests, the Oswald, and then we can even remove Elizabeth and then Champion also. Okay. So you can just say RM and then we can remove Elizabeth, and when we list we don't see Elizabeth again. But if you are kind of maybe you want to remove more than one file, you can just say RM Champion Oswald test.txt, and now they are all gone. RM just like this raw can remove text files. Let's try it on movies and see if it will work. And it tells me it's actually a folder, so it doesn't want to delete it. Okay, so then how can we use the RM to delete folders? Okay, so let's just check what other commands can be used with RM. So it says we can use the -s to force, which means ignore non-existent files and arguments, never prompt. So I think to be able to understand this one, we need to add the -i to the prompt. So what the -i just does is we end up getting a prompt to ask us if we really want to delete the file, the folder. Okay, but then this is a folder, so it will not even delete it. But when we add the -f, it's going to ignore any prompts that already exist and then delete this folder for us. Okay, so most of the times you would see most people using the -f to forcefully delete some folders. Okay, so if you want to delete movies, we can just say -f and then we start to delete, and it doesn't delete even though this says forcefully remove the folder. It doesn't delete it. Probably it's because it has sample or let's say extra folders in it. That is why it's not deleting. Okay, let's try the same thing with the persist folder and also encore. Okay, but let's try it with something inside persist, like maybe movies, series, got, and then say s0 like this. So it says everything is a folder, so it can't delete. But there is another option here that says r, which stands for a recursive, what means like recursive delete. So what this is going to do is it's going to take the first folder, open it, see if there's a folder, open it, see if there's a folder, open it till it gets to the last folder, and then start deleting from that side till it gets to the parent folder, and then it deletes it. So if you want to delete the persist folder, we can just say rm-r and then say persist, hit enter, and then that folder shouldn't exist again. The same way we can say rm-r on movies, and the movies shouldn't exist. And now we are back to having a clean sheet on our desktop or on our home user. Put them in quotations. Okay, I think he was talking about the this thing when I was doing the multiple. Yeah, Kelvin, you have your hands up.